We're talking about spintronics.
Spintronics. Okay, so we all know electronics use the electron's charge, right? Like turning a light switch on or off?
Yeah, exactly. That's how our phones and computers work. But spintronics, it's kind of different.
How so?
Well, spintronics uses a whole other property of the electron.
Which is?
Its spin.
Spin, like a tiny little planet spinning.
Sort of. It's more like, imagine the electron spinning like a top. It can spin up or spin down. And those spins,
Yeah.
they can be used to store and process information.
Whoa. So it's like a whole hidden dimension of the electron we've been ignoring this whole time.
Exactly. And get this, it could lead to low power, high-speed computing, way beyond anything we have now.
Okay, now that is exciting. So where do we even begin with harnessing this power?
Enter graphene.
Ah, graphene, our favorite wonder material. I feel like we've talked about it before.
Yeah, it comes up a lot. For good reason, though.
Okay, remind us why graphene is so special for this.
Well, first off, it's insanely conductive. Electrons can move through it crazy fast.
Like electron autobahn fast.
Haha, pretty much. And you can actually fine-tune the density of the electrons in graphene. Gives you amazing control.
Perfect for building those tiny electron racetracks we were just talking about.
Right, but most graphene Spintronics devices so far have been stuck in what's called the diffusive regime.
Meaning?
The electrons are basically bouncing around randomly, scattering off of stuff.
Not very efficient.
Not at all, like trying to drive through a crowded city, lots of stops and starts. What we want is smooth sailing.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. We want ballistic transport.
Bingo. That's where the electrons move smoothly, like a bullet train, with almost no scattering.
Makes sense. Less scattering means those spins stay intact longer.
Right, and that brings us to the research we're diving into today. They've managed to demonstrate ballistic spin injection in graphene.
Hold on, slow down a sec. They did what?
It's a big deal. It means they actually built those tiny electron racetracks, and the electrons, they're zooming through with their spins perfectly aligned.
That's mind-blowing.
It is, but how did they even do did they build tiny walls to guide the electrons?
Yeah, I'm picturing tiny little fences.
Ha ha, not quite. They used these teeny tiny magnetic nanowires.
Nanowires.
Yep, these incredibly precise things on the nanoscale.
Okay, so what do those do?
They act like spin filters. Think of it like a bouncer at a club.
I like where this is going.
Only electrons with a specific spin direction are allowed in, the others blocked.
So they created a stream of pure spin, like a synchronized swimming team, but with electrons.
Exactly. And what's even cooler, they were able to inject this stream of perfectly aligned spins directly into the graphene.
That is just wow. So we have our racetrack, we have our perfectly aligned spins. How do we know it's really working?
Well, remember those quantized conductance plateaus we've talked about before?
Vaguely. Refresh my memory.
Okay, imagine a staircase. Electrons can only stand on the steps, not in between.
Got it.
Those steps, they're the quantized conductance plateaus. And seeing them means...
Means the electrons are flowing smoothly, like on those steps, right?
You got it. It's proof they're moving ballistically.
Okay, I'm following so far, but my brain's definitely starting to feel the burn.
Haha. It's some pretty intense stuff.
It is, but also incredibly exciting. This is cutting-edge science.
Totally. We're talking about manipulating individual electrons in their spins. At the nanoscale.
This is like watchmaker-level precision, but with atoms.
I know, right? And the implications of all this. Massive.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. Tell me more. Okay, so where do we go from here? We've got the racetrack, we've got the electrons all spinning in sync. What's next?
Well, the researchers didn't just stop at injection. They actually were able to control the spin of the electrons as they moved through the graphene.
Like steer them?
Kind of. They could control the spin orientation, make them point up or down.
So they're sending actual information through the graphene encoded in the electron spin.
Exactly. And get this, they could detect this spin signal traveling really far.
Really far. Like how far are we talking?
Electrometers.
That doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah, but on the nanoscale, it's huge. Imagine running a marathon.
Okay, I can see that. So back up a bit. Why is ballistic transport so important for all this? Why not just stick with diffusive?
Well, remember those scattering electrons in diffusive transport. They're bumping into stuff, losing their spin orientation.
Like the game of telephone, the message gets scrambled.
Exactly. Ballistic transport. It's like a clean, direct line. Spin stays intact much longer.
So longer spin lifetimes. That's got to be good for building actual devices, right?
Oh, absolutely. And here's the really exciting part. It opens up the possibility for coherent control of spin.
Now that sounds complicated. Shake it down for me.
Think of it like this. You can not only inject those spin-polarized electrons, but you can also tweak them as they move. Control their direction, their orientation.
So it's more than just on or off. It's like fine-tuning a dial.
More like conducting an orchestra. You have all these spins, and you can control them to create a symphony of information.
That is a seriously cool analogy. So I want to go back to those nanowires for a second. They're the key to this whole thing, right?
They are. Those tiny magnetic nanowires are like the bouncers, making sure only the right spin gets in. They create that pure spin current we need.
And those quantized conductance plateaus, those are the proof this is all working.
Right. You see those steps, it's a ballistic transport. And the nanowires are doing their job, filtering those spins. It's like the electrons are confined to these very specific energy levels, kind of like stepping stones.
So only certain energies are held?
Exactly. You can't have an electron just floating in between. It has to land on a step.
So to go back to your analogy, it's like the conductor is guiding those electrons, making sure they hit the right notes.
Precisely. They orchestrated this whole intricate dance of spins, all thanks to those amazing nanowires.
And it's not just a tiny trickle of electrons, right? This is an actual usable current.
Oh yeah, they showed you can get a significant current flowing. It's not just theoretical, it's practical.
Wow. This is seriously groundbreaking stuff. So where does this all lead? What's the big picture here?
Well, I think this research is a huge step towards revolutionizing computing as we know it.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about this spintronic future. All right, paint me a picture. What does this spintronic computing revolution actually look like?
Imagine this, you turn on your computer and it's practically silent.
No more whirring fans.
Exactly, because your processor isn't some bulky, hot silicon chip anymore.
What is it then?
It's using electron spins, that elegant, super efficient dance we've been talking about.
So long silicon. What takes its place?
Well, graphene's a pretty strong contender, right?
Our wonder material strikes again.
It just has all the right properties. Superconductive, electrons move freely. Perfect for those racetracks.
It's crazy to think that something so thin, practically invisible, could change computing so drastically.
I know, right? And remember how I said Spintronics is way more energy efficient?
Yeah, you mentioned the heat issue.
Right. So with our current computers, moving all those electrons around generates a ton of heat.
Which is wasted energy, basically.
Exactly. But Spintronics, it's just flipping those spins. Much less energy needed.
So it's like the difference between, I don't know, a gas-guzzling truck and a sleek electric car.
Perfect analogy. All the power, but way less waste.
Gotta love that. But let's talk possibilities beyond just speed and efficiency. What else can we do with this?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. We're talking quantum computing.
Ooh, okay, I'm ready for the quantum realm.
So quantum computers, they use these bizarre rules of quantum mechanics to do things our normal computers can't even dream of.
Sounds powerful.
It is. And one of the key ingredients here is something called superposition.
Superposition. Like a superhero power.
Ahaha! It kind of is. It means an electron can be in both spin states up and down at the same time.
Wait, what? How is that even possible?
That's the weirdness of quantum, and it lets these quantum computers explore tons of possibilities all at once.
So it's not just trying one path at a time. It's like trying every path in a maze simultaneously.
Exactly. That's what makes them so powerful. And to do that, we need to control those spins.
Which brings us right back to our research.
Full circle, this precise control of spin, especially in something like graphene, it's a huge step towards building those quantum systems.
So these tiny nanowires, these electron racetracks, they could be the key to unlocking quantum computing.
They absolutely could be. But hey, it's not just computers,
Oh, there's more?
Spintronics can revolutionize all sorts of fields. Imagine sensors, but way more sensitive than anything we have now.
Like what kind of sensors?
Sensors that can pick up tiny magnetic fields, detect specific molecules.
Okay, that's getting pretty sci-fi.
I know, right? We're talking medical diagnoses, environmental monitoring, all sorts of stuff.
So it's like giving electrons a whole new sense. They can feel their surroundings in a way we couldn't before.
Exactly. And imagine medical devices that can actually interact with your body at the cellular level.
Whoa, hold on. What does that even mean?
Targeted drug delivery, maybe even tissue repair, all guided by those tiny spins.
Now that is seriously futuristic. It's like tiny little nanobots fixing us from the inside.
It's amazing to think about, and all this research with those nanowires and graphene, it's getting us closer and closer.
It really is mind-blowing. So as we wrap up this deep dive into spintronics, what's the one big takeaway?
I think it's this. We're at the beginning of something truly revolutionary. The power of the electron spin, it can change everything.
From our computers to our health to how we understand the world around us.
It's an incredibly exciting time to be alive, that's for sure.
It absolutely is. Well, that's all for this deep dive into the mind-boggling world of ballistic spintronics.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep wondering about the amazing things happening at the smallest scales. See y'all soon.